Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the Alex Bloodfire stream. How are you all? Lots to talk about today. There's been quite a few things in the news. Some of it which has practically made me physically sick over this gender ideology business. I don't know about you. And one of the main things I've picked up is the controversial organisation Mermaids is challenging LGB Alliance's status. Another crowdfunder is up, or they're using the same one. I mean, this has been ongoing, but it's going to cost them £250,000 to keep their charity status. Are charities allowed to harass other charities like this? I think there's something in the Charities Commission that says that they're not. This looks like harassment to me, and I don't think Mermaids and their ilk have a cat in hell's chance of winning. However, LGB Alliance has been forced to raise nearly £250,000 to fight to keep their charity status. Government intervention, perhaps? I think this is absolutely appalling. One of the few stories that I picked up today, which has made me physically sick to think that mermaids are allowed to control the law like this. But LGB Alliance have vowed to fight it, so I don't think there's a cat in hell's chance for mermaids to win, but there we go. I've popped their crowdfunding link in the information below, so please have a look at it, share it like mad, and if you're in a position to donate, every little helps. It really does. Don't let a controversial organisation like Mermaids win. LGB Alliance is an organisation that protects lesbian, gay and bisexual people, and they speak out, for people like that. Why shouldn't they have their own organisation? Mermaids are a disgrace. They're disgusting in what they're doing, but we'll find that out when they win. And I'm very confident that LGB Alliance will win. Please, again, don't support mermaids. This is Mermaids, a supposed children's charity that has told the trans community to come out for Trans Pride today in London and filled with, and I quote, rage. An organisation, a children's organisation, telling people to go out filled with rage. And why are trans activists marching again? I mean, they've already stolen LGBT rights, children's rights, women's rights, practically destroyed women's sports and spaces. What else is there left for trans activists to destroy? That's what I'd like to know. I mean, what the hell are they going out there doing this in the first place for? It is absolutely disgusting. Another story, a major story that's broken, it broke last night. I was sat on the settee and saw it come through my account, social media, should I say. So what does everyone think about Elton John pulling out of the $44 billion Twitter deal? I never believed for 1 minute that Elton John would acquire Twitter. Why would he want a cesspit platform which many people have been banned and suspended from? A platform which routinely silences women, journalists, lesbians, gay men, and the list goes on. A platform which claims to curb conspiracy but allows many gender conspiracy theories across its platform. Twitter contradicts itself. There's a lot of shit about gender on Twitter. We all know it. They don't remove it. And a platform full of porn. People have come across paedophilia, which Twitter takes its time to remove. I came vile child porn, and Twitter took its time to remove that. If I'm to be quite honest, I was actually banned, or I got my account locked out, so I don't ever know how long it ever took them, but they didn't remove it straight away. So are they really 150 genders, Twitter? Why aren't we able to state the obvious that trans women are not women on the Twitter platform? Are we certainly not allowed to call trans women men, or we lose our account? We can't say that men don't get pregnant because we could lose our account. And people are getting suspended and getting their accounts locked for silly little things like that. So there we go. What will the future for Twitter hold now? I mean, now Elon Musk is out the equation. What's Twitter going to do now? I do hope I'm live here because I think I am, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure I am. Okay. I doubt Twitter will win the case against Elon Musk. I don't think they've got a cat in hell's chance of winning that case either. I mean, let's face it, they've refused to disclose how many pretend people, that's bots for starters, and we all know Twitter's full of them. Elon Musk asked a simple question: how many bots have you got on Twitter? And they did refuse to answer him because there's a lot more bots on there than what they tell their advertisers, which you know. So will more of us get banned off Twitter? Will I lose my account again? Will Twitter fold? We're going to find out. But don't worry, because GETTR is better, the fast social growing media platform ever. Perhaps it's time for your brand to show up on GETTR. Come on, companies, make an appearance, because GETTR isn't going away. It's likely the future. So get your brand on GETTR. Right, so I'm just going to go into the book. I'm giving so if you want to win one of 3 paperback copies of my book, Brock Steele Sphere, answer the following question. What is 007's name? The character, written by Ian Fleming and appeared in over 26 swashbuckling movies. Now, I do actually, I've looked this up, and the information that I've found is that there's either 25, 26 or 27 007 movies. I don't know which, and that's on all different platforms. So maybe the next competition will be how many movies are there that did 007 starring. But no, what I want to know for the time being is what's 007 name. So just DM me the answer to my GETTR inbox. The GETTR link is below in the description by midnight, the 31st of July, 2022, and you get a chance of winning one of 3 copies of Brock Steele. I'll give it a little bit of a read, because maybe people want to know what this book is about. It's a spy fiction adventure, and it's the description is as follows. So Brock Steele knows his name and very little else. After a vicious attack in mysterious circumstances, Brock's memory has abandoned him. He has no idea why he's been hounded by a mysterious man with a gun, or why bad things keep happening to the people around him. And why are strange voices talking to him from the walls of his flat? When he's forced to go on the run to save his life, he has to decide who to trust, and making a mistake could be fatal. Can Brock find out who he is, why he's been haunted, and stay alive in the bargain? Yeah, well, we've got 1 in 3 paperbacks if anybody wants it. So all I need you to do is name, what's 007's name, and DM it to my GETTR account to celebrate their new DM platform. Winners will have the book posted anywhere in the world. So wherever you are in the world, please enter the competition, because it will be posted anywhere in the world. The book is in English, but there's an opportunity. So hello, Hamey. I hope all is well with you too as well. Everything is all well with me. I've had a few sick articles that I've seen in the press about gender ideology, but apart from that, I'm absolutely fine. I'm absolutely great. The weather is absolutely fantastic here in England. It's brilliant where I am. I'm in a little town called a little county in Nottinghamshire at the moment, and it is, I mean, actually, I'm in America. No, I'm not in the States. But yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. It's hot. It's getting a bit too hot for me, but yeah, there we go. So, but yes, it's brilliant. So thank you for joining me again, Amy. Really appreciate that you come on and join the screen. So the next little information is about Maya Forstater. She won her case. It's hot here. Well, yeah, it's hot everywhere, isn't it? Yeah. Well, most places. Yeah. So right. So Maya Forstater won her case, and I thought I'd give this another mention. I wanted to read out the tweet that J.K. Rowling tweeted on Twitter, because I think it's quite important. I think it's very truthful, and I think it's a very good tweet. She said, "Every woman who's been harassed, silenced, bullied, or lost employment because of her gender critical beliefs is freer and safer today, thanks to the warrior that is Maya Forstater." What a brilliant tweet. And it's absolutely truth. It really is. This case will have a massive positive impact on women and gender critical people like me. It will have a impact on gender critical people like me on a massive scale. So I really do appreciate, you know, what Maya's done. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. So thanks, Maya, for your courageous bravery in this fight for common sense. The future is changing, the tide is turning, and future people will understand you brought common sense and basic biology into the workplace and beyond. I think we're understanding that now. A lot of us out there are understanding that, you know, you have brought common sense back into the workplace, and you brought common sense back everywhere, because, you know, this case is going to have an impact on many cases to come. So again, thank you, Maya, for GETTR. Of course, Jolyon Mangum reckons he's going to do something about it, but we need not worry, because Jolyon Mangum's record on winning cases isn't particularly appealing. I don't think Maya's got anything to worry about with regard to the Jolyon Mangum. Yeah, so that's it. So brilliant. It's very hot here. I'm hot. It is hot today. Too hot. So getting too hot, it's getting very stuffy. But I'm so glad it's hot. I'd rather it not be winter, because you know, that'd be too cold. So the hot is absolutely brilliant. There's been another petition put online. I've linked it in the information below. This is an important petition, and it's been put up to remove references to gender idea. So I'll start that again. So it's been published. Is to put up to remove references to gender ideology from relationships education guidance. So since 2020, the Department of Education has published guidance for relationships and sex education. This says pupils should be taught the facts and the law about sex, sexuality, sexual health, and gender identity in an age-appropriate and inclusive way. Oh, don't talk to me about inclusivity. Gender ideology is a social construct and not recognised in law. It shouldn't be there. They are going to move it. So do us a favour, get your signature on there. And this UK government and Parliament petition is only open to British citizens or UK residents. But let's get gender ideology out of schools. If we can do that in the United Kingdom, you know, we can send the message to the rest of the world, and, you know, share the hell out of this petition. Again, the link in the information below, because we really do need to remove this nonsense, this gender ideology nonsense out of our school, which has been made up as they go along. It's really horrible what's happened, bringing this stupidity into our schools. It's indoctrination. That's what it is, indoctrination. Completely. On a similar note that I'll bring in on this one, providers of sex education in schools are teaching your kids that prostitution is a rewarding job. This was an article that I picked up today. We really do need to something about this stupidity in schools, and signing that petition is a good start. This outrageous inclusivity is overriding child safeguarding, and people and providers like this shouldn't be anywhere near our children teaching this utter crap. The question I'd like to know is, how did this get into our schools in the first place? And we really do need government intervention. You know, children should not be learning that prostitution is a rewarding job. I mean, this is absolutely appalling. The article is on my GETTR account. It's actually on my Twitter as well. But if we go on GETTR, you have an account on GETTR, you can see it on GETTR. It's quite a good article. I'd recommend you to read it. There was quite a lot of sick things in there that you need to know about. That's what is going on in our education system. It is appalling, unacceptable, and we need to do something about it. So I'll just go into my book again, just to explain that if anybody wants to win a copy of one of 3 copies, paperback copies of my book, all you need to do is answer the following question: what is 007's name? And all you need to do is DM me the answer to the GETTR account by midnight on the 31st of July 2022, and I'll pick out the hat 3 winners, and you could be winning a great book by me. So I just thought I'd give that a mention. Please enter the competition. I've got 3 copies to give away. In other news, a German university, the Humboldt University, has cancelled a biologist lecture after complaints from trans activists. Marie-Louise Volbrecht, a PhD candidate at the Humboldt University, was scheduled to give a presentation on the evolution of biological sex at the Long Night of the Sciences, a scientific institution across Germany. Apparently, PhD biologists cannot tell the truth, and the presentation was cancelled. So Volbrecht explained she was a victim of an abusive campaign launched by trans activists. They demanded her talk be cancelled on the basis that her scientific research was, wait for it, bigoted. It's I think this is getting, trans activists are very, very dangerous people. They're trying to wreck women's sports. They're trying to wreck women's rights. They're trying to wreck women's spaces. They're trying to wreck LGBT spaces. They're trying to indoctrinate our children. What is happening with these trans activists is dangerous, and these people need to be stopped. We can't allow them. I'm just going to have a drink, but we can't allow them to continue wrecking the very fabric of our society. That's a refresh me on this very, very hot evening. But yeah, we need to do something about trans activists. So maybe, people can make some very sensible suggestions as to how we can fight back against gender ideology and trans activists. Please let me know in the comments. Let me know, let me know on GETTR, and let's start working a way together of how we can fight back to stop this nonsense. I mean, I think a lot of people are too scared to speak out. I can understand that. I'm under attack all the time. I'm on a list of a document which has been compiled by trans activists that are simply trying to get me removed from the internet. It's not going to happen because, of course, GETTR, which is getting better, is never going to allow these trans activists to remove profiles off sites like that. Twitter might have bowed down. Twitter might have bend the leg for them, as it was. But most platforms are not going to do that. And most websites are not going to do it. They're not going to bow down to trans activism, especially because the trans activists are now losing. They're losing at sports. We're finding out what's happening in education. It's been removed out of education. Their indoctrination. They are losing, but it is a big fight, and we need to fight more. So, any suggestions? Please let me know, and we can sort of do a fight back. We can maybe even, set up an organization, another gender critical organization, to basically stop trans activisms in their step of wrecking our society. Okay, so moving on. Okay, Ireland's official national curriculum body has encouraged teachers to study cross-dressing for erotic enjoyment, drag, genderqueer and gender fluid identities, whatever that means, as part of a SPHE and RSE toolkit for primary schools. Irish primary teachers have also been discouraged from saying boys and girls and told instead to use a more gender neutral alternative, erasing important language. Gender ideology is damaging our children. Again, we need to speak out. We really do need to speak out about what is happening in gender ideology. We need to stop this indoctrination in schools. This is actually appalling, perverted behaviour, and it shouldn't be continuing in our schools across Ireland and the rest of the UK. I say we're in trouble. Okay, I think we're in trouble, and again, we need government intervention. We also need teachers to speak out. We need anybody. I know we've got teachers speaking out because these are the people that are highlighting this, but parents also need to speak out. They need to get on the boards at school and stop this nonsense that is being put in schools. And bearing in mind, these are not like 14, 15 and 16-year-olds, which I wouldn't really expect to be taught this anyway. These are young children. You know, these are primary school children that are basically learning about this. It's got to be stopped. This is not acceptable. I'm wondering if it's a form of child abuse, to be quite honest, when you're actually indoctrinating our children with this perverted, you know, cross-dressing and what is gender queer and gender fluid identities, which actually don't exist. They're being made up to indoctrinate our children. Again, it's time, as I say, it's time for you to speak out, support the people who are speaking out, speak to your MP, write to your MP, government official, senator, wherever you are in the Western world, because chances are something like this is happening or planned in schools near you too. You know, these are not isolated incidents. This trans ideology has manifested itself across the West. It's a very, very dangerous ideology. We need to stop it. If we don't stop this now, we will never be able to stop it. We need to stop this perverted ideology as soon as possible. The quicker we stop it, the quicker we can get back to normality. So I'm just going to give you a little reminder of my book. I am holding a competition. So to win one of 3 paperback copies of this book, okay, answer the following question. What is 007's name? Okay, that's the character which was created by Ian Fleming, okay, and has appeared in 26 swashbuckling movies. I say 26 because when I read on the internet, it's I see somewhere it says 25, somewhere it says 26, and somewhere it says 27. I was trying to do the research to find out how many movies 007 had actually starred in. So, you know, again, maybe I'll leave that for another competition. But I think he's definitely appeared in over 26 swashbuckling movies. The 007 has. So please DM me the answer. I hope I haven't given his name out there. I don't know whether I just said his name actually, but so DM me the answer to my GETTR inbox. The GETTR link is below by midnight on the 31st of July 2020, and you could walk away with a copy of Brock Steele Sphere, a paperback copy. You can enter anywhere in the world. It'll be delivered anywhere in the world. Winners won't be made public as well. I wanted to mention I'm not going to make winners public because obviously the topic that I'm talking about is extremely controversial at the moment, so I won't make any winners public. If you win, I'll DM you back, get your address, send you the book, and that's the last we'll hear of that. So there we go. So I won't make it public, so you are quite safe there. Okay, so the next article that I managed to find, or the next news, is a Nevada Dem Senator, Catherine Cortez Masto, quietly honors a drag queen for working with children. Miss Ginger Divine, or Reverend Divine, as he's also known, and his real name is Christopher Daniels, has performed the controversial drag queen story time for children, and we all know about that. Yep. So we've got Catherine Cortez Masto. She's honouring him for working with children, and we all know what's been happening with the drag story time for children. There's been a few drags that have well, we know what's happened, so we don't need to go into that, but yeah, there we go. We're getting people who've been honoured now for bringing this adult entertainment into children's classrooms, into children's libraries. It's appalling. Again, please speak out. Write to your senator, write to your MP, write to your government official. We need to stop this. This is not acceptable. It's not acceptable in a civilized society. We all know it's wrong. You know what I mean? We know that, drag queen story time certainly had its controversy with regard to the, the situations that have happened. So let's stop it. Okay. Yeah. Let's fight this nonsense. Let's completely fight it. Okay, in women's sports, the courageous Sharon Davis has rightly criticised the Rugby Football Union for putting female athletes in danger for refusing to adopt a safer policy against the transgender athletes. Okay, I think it's well past the Rugby Football Union's time now to ban males out of female only sports. And by that, I mean all males. Every male should be banned out of female only sports in the Rugby Football Union, and it's time to do that. These unscrupulous males are not just being given a platform to cheat. It's dangerous, it's degrading, it's pathetic of the Rugby Football Union to allow this farce to continue. So please, I'm asking the Rugby Football Union to pull out males in female only sports. Take them away, take them out. We need another category, and that's fair. That's fair. Let's have another category where trans people can compete and they don't have to ruin women's sport. Okay, so that's for the Rugby Football Union. It's time to move males out of female only sports. Moving on, as woke liberals push to replace mother with birthing parent to appease the transgender community, I ask why. Simple. I just ask why. Is this really helping trans people? It's destroying our language, really helping trans people, because they're not getting many friends by doing this. The trans lobby are not getting many friends, and even trans people now are not making many friends by destroying our language and by destroying our rights. And this is a shame, because I don't have anything against trans people. If people want to be trans, if people want to change genders, it's none of my business. When it does become my business, okay, is when people are destroying rights. So the way they're taking my rights away from me, they're taking women's rights away from me, they're taking children's rights away, they're destroying our language, they're destroying spaces. This is when it becomes an issue. So please speak out, people. Support the people speaking out. Contact your MP, senator and government official and join in with the campaigning. Don't let dangerous and sick trans activists ruin our society. The word mother is there for life. It's not going away. We're not going to let go of the word mother. Mother is there for a reason, okay? And that's because a mother is a mother, and we want that word kept. If trans activists don't, it's not my problem. It's not anybody else's problem. We're not letting go of the word mother. It's and it's preposterous to think that anybody would want to. There we go. So please speak out, support the people who are speaking out, contact your senator. Let's stop this nonsense. Let's stop trans activists ruining the very fabric of our society. Moving on, as Penny Mordaunt, presume I've pronounced that right. Has Penny Mordaunt, silly pro-trans stance ruined her chances of becoming a Tory leader? I do hope so, because trans women are not women, not in biology, not in science, and not in material reality. The proof is out there, and Penny claims they are. The proof is out there. If you say to me that trans women are women, I want to see the proof. Okay, I want the proof. Send me the proof. And the truth is there isn't any proof, and that's where trans activists always stop. It's like whenever I'm on Twitter or any platform, but it's mainly Twitter where the trans activists are, they basically turn around and they haven't got an answer for it, and they just stop talking. Once it comes to the actual biological proof, that's it. They haven't got a leg to stand on. And this is what trans ideology is all based on: lies. Okay, trans ideology is completely based on lies. It's like a balloon. The minute that you say, "Oh no, but all right, so trans women are men," bang, trans ideology has just disappeared. That's it. It's because if trans women are men, they shouldn't be in prisons. If trans women are men, they shouldn't be doing this. If trans women are men, well, they shouldn't be destroying women's sports. So the point of the matter is that trans ideology is based on complete lies. That's why we want it out of schools. We don't want trans ideology in our schools. We don't want teachers indoctrinating our pupils, our children, our young children with a silly trans ideology, because it's all lies. We don't want males destroying female sports, because trans ideology is all lies. Okay, and that's it. And you know, there is no proof out there. There's no proof there's 3 million genders or 150 genders, or, you know, I think somebody said the other week 175 genders. There's no proof because there's only male and female. There are only two genders, that is male and female. There's no proof that any other exists because they don't. And that's it. And this is trans ideology. It's a balloon up there, and once it's popped, it's all gone because everything is based on lies. Yeah, if you want to change your gender and you want to become trans, okay, that's up to you. But you don't change your sex, and you don't actually become, if you're a man, you don't actually become a woman. Many trans people know this. Many trans people agree with this. Many trans people, you know, are very concerned that their platform is being used by nutters, by perverted people, by paedophiles, by rapists, and it really is, you know. And certainly the LGBT community are very, very sad. Certainly the ones that many lesbians, gay men, bisexuals that I speak to are devastated that the T ever joined, because, you know, it's ruin. It's ruining their rights. It really is. It's absolutely ruining their rights, and there will be repercussions to what's happening. So if all these trans activists that may or may not look at this show, you know, what you don't realize is the damage that you're actually doing. And maybe it's intended, I don't know, but the damage that you're intended is going to have massive repercussions on the gay community, the bisexual community, the lesbian community, the trans community, the intersex community, and the trans community themselves. This is going to have a big impact because people are so fed up of seeing this stupidity in action. They're so fed up of being dictated to that you've got to believe there's 150 genders, then it's 175, then it's 10 million, then it's infinity genders. You know, they're so fed up of you destroying women's sports. They're so fed up of indoctrinating our children in schools. They are so fed up of you doing this. Okay, so at the end of the day, you're not achieving anything. You won't win. There's absolutely no way on this earth that you are going to win. So maybe it's time now to climb down off the ladder and go home, you know, because you're not welcome on our platform. You know, these pedophiles, these rapists, these perverts, you know, these AGPs, you are not welcome on our platform at all. Okay, you're not welcome on the platform. You're not welcome on the LGBT platform. You're not welcome on the women's platform. You're not welcome on the heterosexual men's platform. You are not welcome on anybody's platform. You know, climb down the ladder and clear off. We don't want you. Nobody wants you to speak out on behalf of them. You are disgusting people. Okay, so our last article before I move over to my GETTR account, and then have a run through the GETTR and let you see my GETTR. The last one I got was a little ironic. It's the former Stonewall chief David Isaac. Okay, aims to rewrite Oxford's university free speech rules as the British government prepares to pass legislation to stamp out censorship on campuses. This is a really good news. I mean, this win situation. For it could certainly help to deal with the trans obsessed activists who you know, are certainly stomping on universities presently. I don't know whether David Isaac is the right man for the job. I mean, he's one of several people that will be assisting rewriting Oxford's university free speech rules. What I'd like to know is, excuse me, I think that's my sausage and onions. I think that's just unsettled on the stomach, but it was absolutely delicious today. I really need to stop eating sausage and onions because it's not good for you. But it's just easy to cook, and I didn't have anything else that I wanted. So there we go. Yeah, I don't know. I did a little bit of research on David Isaac. I don't know whether he's level-headed. He is a former Stonewall chief. You know, I don't know. I don't know whether he's the man for the job. However, what I was going to say is why on earth, you know, have we tried to remove freedom of speech from the campus in the first place? Do we really want to have our universities like China, where we're not allowed to speak? It's quite worrying, really. It's quite worrying what's happening in universities and everywhere. You know, do we really want a society where we're not allowed to speak? You know, we're not allowed to say anything, and we've got to be careful what we say. In my era, we didn't do this. We just said what we wanted, and I think that, you know, when the Equality Act came along, it's kind of started to destroy free speech. Really, I mean, I don't believe that people should be individually targeted, but I do believe that people should be allowed to have proper opinions. I don't believe, you know, that people should be allowed to go out and slander people. You know, that's no. I mean, you know, that's not right. But I do believe that people should be allowed to make up their own minds. They should have their own opinions. And actually, I think, you know, some of us still do, and some of us are fighting, you know, to fight the fight on freedom of speech to stop, you know, to live in a fair, freer society. And trans activists are trying to destroy our freedom of speech, which is why I ask that you don't support trans activists in any way, shape or form. Right, I'm just going to give you a little reminder. So to win one of 3 copies of my book, Brock Steele Sphere, all you need to do is answer the following question. What is 007's name? That's the character that was created by Ian Fleming and appeared in, I think it was 25, 26 or 27 movies. So what was 007's name? All you need to do is DM me the answer to my GETTR inbox by midnight on the 31st of July 2020, and I will pick 3 names out the hat, and you could be one of the lucky winners of getting a free copy of Brock Steele Sphere. It's the book is in English, so it's in English only, and I will send it to anywhere in the world. So anybody anywhere in the world, you can enter the competition, and I will mail it to you. So have a go. Do you know what I mean? Have a go. You know, you might win. Again, winners won't be. I'm not going to make the winners' names public in any way, shape, or form, because obviously the topic I talk about is very controversial. So you will be protected. As soon as I've got the DM and you know, put them all in there, and as soon as I announce the winners, that's it. I will delete them all off. I won't announce who they are. I won't keep any records. So yeah, I'm not going to make the names public. So it's time for me now to go through the GETTR account. Again, I mean, please feel free to ask any questions. I'm having quite a lot of luck on the GETTR, actually. I've had quite a lot of followers. Quite a lot of people are following me on the GETTR. I get on average about between 5 and 10 followers a day. So people are listening. You know, people are maybe listening to the show afterwards as well, and they are listening. Look, you know, get an account on GETTR, you know, and if you've got a brand, if you've got a company, if you've got an act, if you're a singer, whatever you are, you know, join GETTR. Do you know what I mean? It is a platform of the future. We don't know what's going to happen to Twitter now that Elon Musk has gone and kicked them up the arse and said no. I'm quite happy about that. I never thought Elon would actually you know, purchase Twitter anyway. I don't know what he'd want to do with a cesspit platform like that. But yeah, I mean, you know, yeah. I'm quite happy that he's kicked him up the arse, actually. They are trying to sue him. I'm pretty confident they won't win. I'm pretty confident that they won't win. So I think that they're in a no-win situation. And I think the platform will really get worse. I don't think it's going to get better unless they deal with their you know, their silencing problem. You can't just have a platform and silence gay men and lesbians and women and bisexuals and everybody. I mean, everybody's been silenced on the Twitter platform. I mean, it's you know, everyone from all walks of life. You've got journalists. I mean, I'm looking on GETTR. You've got journalists on GETTR, and quite a lot of journalists on GETTR that have been suspended, locked out. You know, got issues with Twitter. You've got doctors. You've got celebrities on here. You've got massive amount of government officials on here. Government people, American government people. There's a load of people on GETTR from there. Some which have had their account banned for life. Apparently, we haven't got. Mr. Trump himself, who was also banned from Twitter. I mean, whatever you think about Mr. Trump, or the ex-president Trump. Whatever you think about Trump, do you really think that Twitter should have banned a sitting president from Twitter? I don't. I think it's an absolute disgrace, and I really hope Trump actually gets back in as president and actually does something with Twitter, because somebody really needs to. I mean, it's a real shame where this platform has gone, and wow, what an embarrassment. What an embarrassment Twitter really is. I mean, it's awful, really. I mean, it's awful. I mean, right, okie dokie. So let me go on to my GETTR. I think I've read quite a lot of all around, because when I was looking through the news today, I mean, there is a lot of news about, but I think I've said quite a lot of it on today. But I'll probably repeat some of this. So if you do need to, if you're sort of on the fence and you're like thinking about fighting against trans activists, yeah, Amy, so I just saw your message there. So how busy is it on GETTR? It's still very, very busy. I mean, there is now 6 million users on GETTR. It is busy. There's a lot of women who've been banned. There's a lot of gay men who've been banned off or locked out or have issues with Twitter. There is a lot of people on there, so it's not quiet. I got a retweet from Graham Linehan yesterday from the I think it was about the LGB Alliance. It was, the LGB Alliance charity status crowdfunder. So yeah, there's a lot of people on. So you're also thinking about, you've got Graham Linehan who's banned off Twitter. You've got Posey Parker who's banned off Twitter. They're very active on GETTR. So a lot of people are on GETTR. So I'm encouraging everybody. I mean, Twitter have pissed me off, actually, because they have kept me off the platform for 6 months, which I think is quite appalling, really, for any organization to do. I didn't do anything wrong, you know what I mean? So I'm a massive GETTR fan, and I think GETTR is the future. And I think if Twitter are not careful, GETTR will lead the way. I mean, there's a lot of platforms now, a lot of, back in the day when there were Facebook and Twitter, now there's so many different social media platforms, and they're all becoming a major concern. But yeah, there's 6 million users, so there is a lot of scope on GETTR, and they've just introduced the new DM service, so that's pretty good. That's a brand new thing on GETTR, which has made it better. So GETTR's been made better. Okay, so I'm just going to run through the GETTR account. Like I say, I'm Alex Bloodfire on GETTR. Please feel free to follow me. You'll get all the information there. So we're talking about the former Stonewall chief, David Isaac. He's aims to rewrite the Oxford University free speech rules, because the British government now are preparing to pass legislation to stamp out censorship on campuses. It's sad, really. The government have had to step in, really, but I think the government are going to have to step in on a few things. I think that it looks as though they're stepping in on women's sports. It looks as though they're stepping in on quite a few things. So, hopefully, I mean, I don't know what. I know the government is a little bit of in a perilous situation at the moment with Boris resigning and various things. But I think the government are going to have to jump in and sort this problem out, because we can't sort it out. The people are fighting. They're fighting. I mean, it's costing us thousands and thousands of pounds. I mean, look at LGB Alliance. It's going to cost them £250,000 just to keep their charity status. It's not fair. It's really not. So I think the government are going to be jumping in on quite a few things, or if they're not, they need to be. But I think I'm seeing them. They are more and more, which is pretty good. We've got the providers of sex education in schools teaching our young kids that prostitution is a rewarding job. Who would say such a disgusting thing? I mean, really, really confuses me. And like I said earlier on, this outrageous inclusiveness, in brackets, the inclusiveness, is it's overriding our child safeguarding, and people and providers like this, they need to be removed from schools. They shouldn't be anywhere near our children saying such baloney like this, such pathetic. I think it's pervertedness. It's really, really disgusting. So just a reminder that LGB Alliance are fighting to keep their charity status. They're having to raise £250,000 in order to fight a case, which we all know they're going to win. I mean, mermaids are not going to win anything. The actual defence or the actual things that mermaids have put forward are so pathetic, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, LGB Alliance are not going to win, but it is going to cost them £250,000 to keep their charity status. They are going to fight it. I'm so glad they're going to fight it. I am behind LGB Alliance 100%, and I really do think that mermaids have acted appallingly, and I will be contacting the Charities Commission at some point after this case to ask, why mermaids have been allowed to harass a charity, okay, and they charity themselves. And I'm going to ask, why should they still remain a charity when they're doing this? So I am going to write to the Charities Commission. If you don't know as well, mermaids are actually name squatting on a website of Transgender Trend. If you actually use the website, I'm going to have to find it now, but I think it's .co.uk, transgendertrend.co.uk. It goes straight through to mermaids. So they are actually name squatting as well. So if you type in transgendertrend.co.uk, it's been forwarded to mermaidsuk.org.uk. Why are mermaids being allowed to do this? This is a question that I'd like to know from the Charities Commission, why they've been allowed to do this. I will be contacting the Charities Commission with regard to that. It's something I found out a while ago, but I wanted to wait. I mean, I have contacted the Charities Commission about mermaids. I openly admit that on a couple of occasions, but I'm going to wait on this until the case is over from LGB Alliance, and I will be bringing this up with them as well. Mermaids are a very controversial charity, and I really can see why. Just a reminder that Penny Mordaunt's silly pro-trans stance has likely ruined her chances of becoming Tory leader. What do people think out there? Do people think that Penny's in for a chance? I don't really want somebody in government that thinks that trans women are women. I mean, without any proof. I mean, if Penny can email me or DM me on GETTR, Penny, please DM me on GETTR the proof about what you're saying. I would be interested to see it. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think there is any proof. There we go. We've got another reminder that the woke liberals push to replace mother with birthing parent. This is to appease the transgender community, not the trans people I speak to, though, because trans people I speak to are against this. Trans people I know are against this. I mean, this seems to be trans activists who are pushing to remove all the words, from our language. For what reasons, I'll never know. There will be a lot of comebacks from this in the future. So, I mean, my advice to any trans person out there is to not go along with these vicious trans activists that are on your platform, that are basically ruining, that they're ruining your rights. There will be repercussions from this in the future for not just trans people, but for the LGBT community, for the index community. We're all going to get, everybody's going to get the blame for this, and they are not not basically I don't think they're thinking properly, to be quite honest, on what they're doing. I mean, they're trying to wreck women's sports, they're trying to indoctrinate our children, wreck women's spaces. I mean, we've got men walking in women's toilets, transitioning when they feel like it, despite the fact they shouldn't legally be allowed in there. They're getting away with it, and it's causing a massive problem, and people will not forget what you're allowed to do. And I think in the future, when things are going to change because the tide is turning, there will be prevention measures to stop this happening again. I can guarantee that. I can. Another reminder that Sharon Davis rightly criticises the Rugby Football Union for putting female athletes in danger for refusing to adopt a stricter policy a stricter policy against transgender athletes. So we need to get men out of women's sports. It's as simple as what we need to do, and that's exactly right. The Nevada Dem senator honors the quietly, and I stress quietly, honors a drag queen working with children. That was Catherine Cortez Masto, and that was the drag queen story hour, drag queen story time. We all know about that. How appalling that you know what's happened with that, and you know why are people being honoured? You know what I mean, for bringing their adult their adult entertainment to children. To me, it's wrong, but I think we need to stop it. We need to stop this completely, and we need to fight against it. We need to fight to say no. Drag acts, okay, is adult entertainment. It does not belong in children's libraries. It does not belong in our schools. So yeah. Again, I'm asking people to sign an important petition. The link is below. This is to remove references to gender identity from relationships education guidance. Only British citizens and UK residents can sign this UK government petition, but please do sign it. Please share it as well. It's vastly important. Put it on your network, share it, sign this petition. I nearly said competition then. Sign this petition. It is very important because the more signatures we get, the more chances we've got of it being read out in Parliament, the more chances we've got of the government listening to us, even though I think the government are looking into education now and seeing what disgust is happening. But this would be a good way of, showing the government that, we actually want this perverted stuff out of our education. We don't want children indoctrinated with a gender identity. There's been a massive upturn in people identifying as trans, and the reason is it's all coming from the schools. It's very obvious to anybody who can see what's happening that you start talking about gender ideology in schools, you start indoctrinating children, of course the count's going to go up. It's obvious, and this is a tragedy what's happening to our children. Please speak out, no matter what walk of life you're from. Please speak out. If you can't speak out, please support the people that are speaking out. There are many of us speaking out now, more so than ever. I mean, there's when I went back on Twitter a couple of days ago, because just to remind everybody, my Twitter account locked for 6 months. Twitter, I've done absolutely nothing wrong. I shared an article which generated a photograph, which most of my articles do, and this photograph that they were arguing about was generated before they changed the rules. Okay, so again, but since I've been back on Twitter, okay, I've seen that there are so many more people speaking out, and I'm seeing so many more blue ticks speaking out. I'm seeing so many more celebrities speaking out, sports personalities, and general people from all walks of life are now speaking out and saying gender ideology is wrong. They're really speaking out against gender ideology, which is really good news. I predict more and more people are going to speak out, because I think the majority of people, okay, don't want gender ideology but certainly in our schools. They don't want it in our society. Gender ideology is based on lies. It's like a balloon. The whole of gender ideology is all based on lies. Trans women are not women. Okay, trans men are not men. All this silliness about erasing languages, is doing nothing for anybody. All it's doing is winding people up. All it's doing is making people angry. By removing the word mother, father, ladies, gentlemen, all you are doing is winding people up. You are upsetting people. You are making people very, very angry, because we all know gender ideology is just based on lies. It's like a balloon. You know what? That once it's popped, you know, once the trans activists admit that men are not women, do you know what I mean? That's it, bang, gender ideology is gone. Well, if they're not women, they shouldn't be in female prisons. If they're not women, they shouldn't be in female sport. If they're not women, they shouldn't be in female toilets. So that's what gender ideology is based on. And we do need to fight it. And we do need to remove it out of our schools. We need to remove it out of our society. Signing this petition is a way forward, but please, you know, do speak to your government, senator, MP, or wherever you are, you know, wherever you are in the world, especially the Western world. In the Western world is more specific of what I'm talking about, because this gender ideology is happening in your society too. It's got to manifested itself in Europe, Australia, America, Canada. It's all over the place. South America, Mid America. It's basically manifested itself everywhere, and we really do need to. We need to fight against it, because if we don't fight against it, we've got it for life. And then we're going to be arrested for saying things, you know, against trans people, against gender ideology, and we'll be arrested for that, because that's what's happening now. We're risking prison sentences, and that is what's happening now. We've got a feminist in, I think it's Mexico or Brazil. She's facing up to 25 years in prison. We've got another feminist in Europe who's facing 3 years in prison because they subscribe to basic biology, and they speak basic biology. Trans women are men. Simple. Another reminder that we've got a German university which was cancelled after complaints from trans activists. You see, this is what trans activists are doing. They're stopping everything so that we're not allowed to speak about reality anymore. These people are sick and they need stopping. So moving on, I know that I've only got a couple of minutes left, but I just wanted to again mention about Maya Forstater, who was sacked unfairly. Won a case, which I'm so proud of Maya. And Maya is a friend of J.K. Rowling, which is you know, it's really nice and brilliant. I should mention that on my first day back to Twitter, J.K. Rowling liked one of my tweets, made my day. Really made my day. I was really happy. So thank you, J.K. Rowling. You made my day, and it was brilliant. Wow, what more can I say? And I have, like I said, I have bought your book, J.K. Rowling. I'm very much looking forward to reading it, and I am a massive fan. So there we go. Moving on, we've got the island's official national curriculum body has encouraged teachers to study cross-dressing for erotic enjoyment, drag, genderqueer and gender fluid identities as part of SPHE and RSE toolkit for primary schools. Quite dangerous. We really do need to speak out about that, because what's happening in our schools is disgusting. It really is. So the last thing I wanted to say is that I've been informed from the, well, I've been informed that Warner Bros. Have defended their relationship with J.K. Rowling. I stand with J.K. Rowling, and as always, and yeah, that's good news. Brilliant. That's fantastic. One last mention of the LGB Alliance case. LGB Alliance have been forced to raise nearly £250,000 for simply, you know, to retain their charity status. I'm surprised the law allows this. I'm surprised the government's allowing that. I mean, I think there should be more government intervention. It's such a shame, really, that they're having to do this, but they are going to fight. Please, you know, if you've got a bit of cash, you know, stick it in their crowd justice. And also share the hell out of the petition, this crowdfunder. We really cannot allow a controversial organisation like Mermaids to be allowed to bully an LGBT charity. So please share it all over the place. You know, get your friends, you know, to look at it, and any donations, however small, is really appreciative. Every little helps. Well, that's it from me. I will be on Wednesday. I did have the times, but I've lost them. Yeah, I've lost them. But anyway, I'll be on Wednesday. So my next one is Wednesday. Thank you, Amy, for joining me. You have a good weekend too. Take care and speak soon. Yeah. Okay. So goodbye.